Hi, crafty friends. You guys, I love, love, love loom weaving. It is so relaxing. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I just wanted to show you how easy it is. So what I'm doing is I am just now going from one peg straight across to the other peg. And this part is super easy. You can make it a pattern if you want, kind of like I'm doing here. I'm doing sets of twos. And then as I start doing it, I decided to change it up and add in gray on my second one in on each side so that it almost kind of frames it out. But you could do it any way you want. You could just willy-nilly put them on there. You could just do all one color. You can do anything, which that's the part I love. You can make this just whatever you want it to be. But I thought these were really fun, springy colors. So once you get this side done, like I said, super easy. Then you can just turn the loom and start weaving the next direction. And when you do that, you guys, you can use your hands. I like to use my hands when I'm doing it because you're just going over, under, all the way through, and then you clip it in on the other side, or you just put the fabric around the other side. Now, as you start to do that, the fabric will get taut, and sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, especially when you get to the ends after you've been weaving a lot. Here's where I put that gray one in, but you'll kind of see as we go along here how I do it. You can totally do it different though. So I always use a paper clip or a little clothespin, to kind of hold, because sometimes that'll pop off, especially when you haven't gotten a lot of tension yet. And so I'm just doing that over, under, and then, like I said, I will clip it off on the second side. Now, the next set that we do, the next color that we do, we're going to do that opposite. We started this white one that I'm doing now going over first and working all the way to the end. So the second one, we will go under first and then just keep moving along, just weaving it as we go. So don't worry if you accidentally put one in wrong, you've weaved it in the wrong direction or something. This happens to me every time, sometimes multiple times. All you have to do is just unhook it and then just pull it out and then start the weaving process again in the direction that it needs to be. love little fur babies. Okay, so now this is where I'm using the hook method. So you can just use the hook almost like your finger. You're just going in your weaving pattern all the way to the end, and then you will hook your next loop on it, and you will just pull it all the way through. I know a lot of people like to do it this way, all the way up, but it's just easier for me on the parts where I can to just do it with my hands. So again, totally up to you. So now I'm just kind of pulling that edge back, because what we're going to do is we're going to start making our edges. And what you do is you put your hook through your first one, okay, and then just kind of hold that back, grab the second one, and put this first one over the top of the second one and let go. Same thing, I've got that second one in under my finger, pulling up the third one, putting the second one and let go. So we're really just crocheting-ish the edges. And if it's easier for you, when you pull it up off the hook, hold your finger on it. That way you remember that's the one that goes over the top of the one you just pulled. Now, if you by accident let go of one when you pull it off the hook, I do it a lot, no worries, just reach down and grab it and put it back up on there. But you'll do this all the way across all four sides. And that's how it makes the edge of your pot holder. So the nice thing too about this, when you're using multiple colors, is it makes it a little bit easier visually to know, okay, I just grabbed this color, now I go over that color when you're making the edge, but also you can just hold it back with your finger too. That way you don't get them confused, because I've had that happen to two. So all I do is I just pull it back off and then just fix it up. But again, I'm going to pull that off. The first one I had, I'll pull up over the top of it and just let go, and it has that loop right there, and then just continue to do the same thing all the way down. Now, when you get towards the end, you're just gonna finish it off like you normally do, and you're like, okay, well, how do we do the corner? The corners are super duper easy, and it's the same technique. I just add in one extra step. Because like I was telling you, this gets super taut with all the different fabric stretches and things. So you can see it's starting to kind of sink down on that side. So here I go, I'm gonna do my last loop, and I'm gonna put this back up on the hook. And then I'm going to take one of the hooks or the loops, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm gonna pull it back up and hook it on the top. Definitely do this, because if you don't, the whole thing will start collapsing on itself. So we'll do this on all sides as well. So now I'm going to take that, and I always kind of adjust it again because I want my hook to be in a better position. So I just take that one from before, and now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pull it over and we're just going to continue that whole process. So I pulled up the second one, took the first one over the top of it and let go, and we'll just do that same thing all the way down this side. And when we get to this next corner, we'll do the exact same thing. We'll make that final hook through. We'll put it back up on that last rung, and we'll pull one up and hook it up there. I've tried this before and I didn't hook up, and it kept curling on itself, and it just doesn't turn out. So make sure that you're holding them taut. And as this will start to go, you'll think, oh my gosh, it's going to pull those out and it's going to mess it all up. But I promise you in the end, it works out great. So remember how I was saying, oh my gosh, it's going to look totally crazy wonky pants? Well, it starts to look that way because you're like, I'm serious, this is going to pull it out, Bonnie. I don't know if I can believe you. But it really does. It's just holding it since everything is so tight in there. So here we are on our fourth side. So this side is pretty much the same as the others. The only difference is the very end. Now you could just loop off the end onto the other one and it would be perfectly fine. But I like it to have a loop. So that very last one right there by my pinky, the white one, that'll be my very last loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it all the way, like it looks like I'm pulling it out. You'll see that here in a minute. But I like to just tie it off so that I have a little bit of a loop, and that becomes like my hanger, because I love to use these as pot holders in my kitchen, but also like drink holder, you know, like little drink coasters. But I just love having the loop on there. And again, that's completely optional. You can just, you know, if you don't want it, loop it into the other one, but I like to have it because I have tons of stuff like hanging in my kitchen just to kind of save space, because I have a super small kitchen, and that's why I like the little hook so much, or the little loop, I should say. So again, we're going to pull off these last few. Now, before I make that tie off, I'm going to go ahead and release it from the loom. And sometimes, because everything's stretched so far, it takes just a second to get it off of there, get everything unhooked. But I just kind of hold that very last one out in my hand, and then just get it unhooked. You just kind of take a little tension off of there because it gets a little crazy. So again, I'll just really push this down so that I get enough for the loop size that I want to make. And then all you're going to do after this is you're just going to start straightening it all out. Now, sometimes it looks like oh gosh, it's got a curl in it, it's not going to lay flat. Well, it will. So I really start stretching. Once I kind of stretch in all areas, I'll do the four corners. Now, the parts where we had hooked up to hold it onto the loom when we were doing the edges, if those are sticking up too far, no worries. All you have to do is just kind of farther back down. You can see here, I'm pulling it out a little bit more. I guess there's so much tension in that area, that's why it's not pulling it back. So if I just, you know, loosen it a little bit and then keep stretching, it'll help with those corners. So this is really the part where you can keep stretching and stretching and stretching to your heart's desire, because I do. And then pulling it at four corners will work great too. But look how cute this is. These colors are so springy. So friends, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Thanks, friends.